situational awareness, SA. So establishing situational awareness and maintaining the activities to collect, analyze, alarm, present, and use the cybersecurity data to form a common operating picture, basically, or standard operating procedure. It's more the term that I'm used to. So 1A and 1B is all about logging. And logging is like setting up a cybersecurity program. You don't really think you need to say it, but let's say it, because let's get everything out on the table. You need to generate security event logs, and you need to monitor those security event logs over time. That is typically where the trigger points are detected when an incident takes place. It's usually by looking at those logs or having an automated computer system of some sort going through those logs to give you the insight that you need that something is not right, something is untoward, and we may have a cybersecurity incident going on right now. That gives you the time. The more quickly it's discovered through automation, through computing, the quicker you can respond, the quicker you can mitigate and minimize the impact to the process. Monitor the logs, right? I was just talking about that, so hopefully that's pretty self-evident. Monitor these logs to identify suspicious activities. You're not going to want to manually do this. There's going to be a lot of information in your logs. SIEMs were specifically built to ingest logs, cybersecurity logs from a myriad of different sources: firewalls, EDRs, endpoint detect respond agents within endpoints, switches, etc., applications themselves. So you're going to be ingesting all of that data, and you want to be able to correlate that data from multiple sources in order to detect, and this is what your SOC operators are going to be doing. This is their job if you happen to have a SOC, an OT SOC, or an IT SOC that maybe doesn't have visibility into the OT space, but wants to have visibility into the OT space. There's big talk in the OT world right now. Do I have a separate OT SOC, or do I combine it with my IT SOC? Now, Greg, this isn't even an industrial defender's position, but Greg's opinion is that we're all going to move eventually into one SOC, where there's just another ingestion of data from the OT space, as well as all the data that's ingested in the IT space. Yes, there's going to have to be OT specific operators in that SOC, or there's going to have to be a fair amount of training to the IT operators to learn a lot about the OT environment, but it's inevitable. Most attacks that happen in the OT space start in the IT side and bleed over into OT. If you have one SIEM or SOAR that's looking at all of the IT space and looking at all of your OT data in one pane of glass and can do the correlation, then that is a bit more powerful mitigation for you, basically.
So, Greg, you hit a couple topics there that are important. Monitoring isn't a human operation, especially with the vast amount of logs that are being generated from firewalls and EDR systems. It's automation, it's correlation. So you have to have an automated system that's performing a lot of this, that's bringing up or uprising events of interest that you can properly respond to. It's not someone just reviewing millions of logs and packets a day.
That's right. Now the dark art really here is not the looking at the logs, it's at the correlation of the data from multiple data sources to bring out the most interesting indicators, basically. So yeah, and that literally is a kind of a dark art.
And then obviously the panacea is SOAR, orchestration automation, where you automate the tasks that come out of a correlative alert or something, where it may be create a firewall rule, it may be grant access, deny access. I mean, I think that's where we get to when we finally, have an all-encompassing view of the OT and the IT landscape, that we can automate and orchestrate rule changes, revoking access, identifying risk, identifying threats. So that's the next step.
Agreed. Yeah, and SOAR is, you know, the next add-on to a SIM, and it's critical, and it's very common in the IT space. Automating the response, building out playbooks so that it all happens automatically. In the OT space, of course, it has to be a little bit different. Maybe it's as simple as creating a P1 alert to a series of individuals that have been defined ahead of time. Maybe it's as simple as creating a trouble ticket for a P1 event that gets routed to your cybersecurity team. It doesn't have to be taking a device offline, which could be really bad in the OT space, but that's very common in the IT space, right? So there's a lot of automation and orchestration that can still take place in the OT space, and that timely response is key to minimizing the impact.